have
Yeah.
a real complaint.
Hi Monica, it's wonderful to meet you. I'm Dr. Zach. Sounds like you've been dealing with quite a bit of lower back pain. I got to review your file a little bit on here. It also showed a little bit of that. It's affecting your way that you sit at work, and that's kind of impacting your lifestyle a little bit more. Tell me a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, so I don't really know exactly what happened, but I'm having like a really bad pain. I think it's muscle, but I'm not really sure on my left side in the
Okay.
back. And it's like pretty tender and feels kind of like swollen.
Okay. And do you remember doing anything that might have caused that?
Not off of the top of my head. I mean, I have a desk job, so maybe that.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't remember like bending over a weird way or anything
And
like that.
when did this start?
Probably. Well, a couple maybe a month ago, it was both sides.
Okay.
My right and my left mid back to lower back. And that kind of resolved on its own. And now it's just localized to the left side and it's more severe.
And is this different, or does this feel like the same thing you did before and now it's just on the left?
It's slightly different. It's more tender
Okay.
than spasmy, if that makes sense.
And would you describe it more like a sharp pain? Is it a dull pain, an achy pain? What would you say?
I would say it fluctuates from dull to sharp,
Okay.
depending on which way I move.
And is it better in extension or is it better in flexion? What do you notice?
It's worse when I lean back.
When you extend back that
Yeah.
way, it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said this just started when? Yesterday, I think is what you said?
Yeah, this started initially yesterday.
Okay. Now, how is this impacting your day? What have you noticed? What makes it uncomfortable?
Everything, getting dressed, getting
Okay.
out of bed, walking around, moving at a quick speed.
I'm sorry, it seems like it's impacting pretty much your entire life.
Yeah, at this point.
Now, what do you do, by the way?
I'm a front desk receptionist.
Front desk. Okay. Is that a lot of sitting? Is that a lot of standing? What are you doing?
Definitely more sitting.
More sitting?
Yeah.
Okay. What is worse, sitting or standing?
I think it's a mix.
It's a mix.
Yeah.
Okay. Because obviously, it sounds like if you're sitting all day long and you can't really sit because of this low back pain, that's pretty debilitating,
Yeah.
right? So that's something that we would definitely try to be able to correct and try to be able to help to get you back on track. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you noticed anything pain between the shoulder blades or stuff going into the neck?
I have been having like collarbone / shoulder pain
Okay.
on my right side though, so I feel like I don't notice it as much right now because my back hurts so bad, but
Okay.
when my back doesn't hurt, my shoulder is what bothers me.
So definitely the lower back is taking precedence
Yes.
right now, and that's kind of the center of your world.
For sure.
Okay. But this other issue, that right shoulder, has still been bothering you quite a bit.
Yeah.
What affects your right shoulder? What's going on with that?
It just feels like I can't extend it back
Okay.
as much, and then I got a massage and she basically massaged under my shoulder blade and pulled my shoulder back at the same time, and that felt like a lot of relief.
Okay.
And she thinks my pec muscle just won't release, so I've been
Okay.
taking a massage gun to my pec muscle, and that seems to be helping.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, have you noticed, do you sleep on that right side? Do you curl into that right side?
I rotate between right and left,
Okay.
but I definitely notice whenever I'm like hunched forward, it feels like my shoulder wants to be hunched forward, and I keep trying to pull it back.
Sure. Are you right-handed?
Yes.
Okay. Do you use that right mouse quite a bit?
Yes,
or
I
like,
do.
what are some daily activities you're like, man, this really affects that ability to use that arm?
Constant mouse, and then I'm also like scanning papers on the right side, so
Okay.
I'm lifting and putting papers in to scan
Sure.
throughout the day.
Any other daily habits that are impacted by the shoulder?
Maybe just bad posture.
that'll definitely do that, right? Especially rolling that shoulder in, that'll create a lot more tension throughout that pec. All right, now, have you ever been to a chiropractor before?
Yes.
You have, okay. Good experience, bad experience?
Good.
Good experience.
Yeah.
Well, let me explain a little about what we do, okay? Now, the way your body works, your brain controls every organ, muscle, and tissue throughout your body. The way it does that sends energy down your spinal cord out throughout all of your nerves. So all of your organs, muscles, and tissues are fully reliant on that nerve supply that comes to them. So what can go wrong? You slip, twist, fall, you bend over too quickly, and that will cause that joint to shift out of alignment.
Yeah.
When it shifts out of alignment, your body intelligently will send blood flow to the area. What it's trying to do is it's trying to help heal it. Okay. But where there's excessive blood flow, now it starts to put pressure on the nerve. That's what we call a subluxation. Have you heard that term before?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Wow, you must have gone to a good chiropractor before then. That's
Yeah.
good. A lot of people don't know what a subluxation is. Now, the interesting thing about a subluxation is pain is one of the last things to show up and one of the first things to go away.
God.
By the time your body's in pain, now it means it's in crisis mode and your brain's trying to send you a signal to say, there's something wrong, go get it fixed, right? Your body doesn't hate you. I know sometimes it kind of feels like it hates you, like sometimes you just want to rip off that right shoulder or stuff that's going on this lower back, right? Okay, now, your nerves control more than just your muscles, okay? If you have lower back pain, that doesn't just affect the muscles of your lower back, it also controls whatever organs, muscle, or tissues it goes into.
Okay.
That can affect things like digestive function, bladder function, reproductive function. If you have stuff in the mid-back, similar to what you have right now, that could be affecting things like your liver, your gallbladder, your heart, your lungs, the way that you breathe. And if you have stuff going on into the neck, that could be affecting your thyroid, which can affect your hormones and your mood.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you a couple of organ-related questions.
Okay.
In terms of the eyes and ears, any dizziness, vertigo, ringing ears?
No.
No. Any immune system issues, frequent colds, flus, allergies?
Not recently.
Okay. What did you have a little while ago?
I had in the fall. I had the flu really bad. It lasted for like a month.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
That is so terrible.
And then I keep having eye infections that are HSV related to like an immune response. So I must be stressed out somewhat.
And what are you doing for the eye infections?
They gave me an antiviral.
Okay. And has that been helping?
It helped my left eye initially, and then like a week after I stopped taking it, my right eye got infected.
That stinker.
I
Travels from one eye to the other. You're like, I can kind of see, and then I can't really see.
Yeah.
Any headaches, tension, or migraine?
No.
No. Any shoulder, elbow, or wrist issues?
Just the right shoulder.
Just the right shoulder.
Yeah.
And is that more in the trap, or do you notice it more in the shoulder?
It's in the collarbone.
Okay, so it's more in the front
Yeah.
in comparison to that side. All right. Any thyroid issues we should know about?
Not that I'm aware of.
Any heart issues, high blood pressure, murmurs, tachycardia?
Technically, I was diagnosed with POTS when I was a kid. I haven't been monitored for it, but I definitely know I have symptoms of it.
Any changes in heart rate?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Significant.
All right. Any lung issues, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, asthma?
No.
Any stomach issues, gas, bloating, stomach cramps?
I probably am fairly gassy,
Okay.
digestive wise.
And something we can talk about too is we might talk about a couple of different nutritional things.
Okay.
We do what's called a hair analysis. Have you ever heard of that before?
I think so.
Okay. So what it does is different tests different environmental factors. It also goes into a lot of different food sensitivities that you might have.
Oh.
So if you have anything internal, we can actually pinpoint what foods your body responds well to, what foods you might not. That's $100. If you're ever interested in that, we send it out to Europe. It takes about 2 weeks to get back. That's really helpful to actually know, and you have confidence in whatever foods you eat.
Yeah.
So you're not as gassy, you're not as bloated, and your digestive system works a lot better.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that more later.
Okay.
Any acid reflux?
Very rare.
Okay. Any indigestion, ulcers, nausea, vomiting?
No.
Any gallbladder issues, red upper quadrant pain?
I've had pretty consistent gallbladder issues. I have fatty liver disease.
Okay.
Gallbladder has kind of subsided, but
What's changed?
chiropractic care.
That's good. I'm glad those adjustments have been helping.
For sure.
Any diabetes?
No.
Any intestinal issues like constipation, diarrhea?
I fluctuate between the two, and I think that's hormone related.
Could be. Now, when you say you fluctuate, does it go from like having gone in 3 days to diarrhea, or what would you describe?
I usually go pretty consistently, at least once a day.
Okay.
But it will fluctuate between really severe constipation and diarrhea.
And when you say constipation, it's difficult to go?
Yes.
Okay, so it's more straining aspect.
Yes, for sure.
That could be a sacral nerve issue. There could be a couple of things going on in your lower back
Okay.
that could be contributing to that stuff too.
Interesting.
All right. Any bladder issues, frequent urination, UTIs?
No.
No. Any reproductive issues, irregular cycles, painful periods?
Very painful.
Very painful periods.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have really bad PMS.
Okay.
Too.
Which that's not fun at all.
No.
That could be a hormone related issue. Sometimes that could be something going on in the lower back. Other times that could be stuff that's going on into the neck. It could be a parasympathetic issue or a sympathetic issue. Have you ever heard of parasympathetic or sympathetic before?
I have, but I don't really understand them.
So parasympathetic is your body's way of calming down, resting, digesting. all the blood flow leaves your arms and legs and goes to your stomach so that your body is able to heal, rest, and digest. Okay, sympathetic is the opposite. Your body doesn't care about digesting food, so it takes all the blood flow from your abdomen, goes out to your arms and legs so that you can run, fight, punch, move, get into another thing. Most people are stuck in a chronic state of sympathetic stress.
Yeah.
So their body isn't able to go into that resting, healing, digesting.
Yeah.
That'll be really important when we do the exam. We'll see if your body's super inflamed, and that could be related to some of the hormone issues you got going on there.
For sure.
Okay. All right. The next thing I like doing is I like going over goals, right?
Okay.
And I saw that you get to write down your goals on here too, so I
Yes.
got to review those a little bit. But when I go over goals, I've found that patients who actually achieve a goal do a lot better than somebody who's trying to get out of pain. Now, there's 3 different types of goals. There's an immediate goal, a short-term goal, and a long-term goal.
Mm-hmm.
An immediate goal is something that you're trying to get rid of. Now, in your case, that would be trying to get rid of this left lower back pain that you got going on so you can actually sit a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I feel like that's kind of at the center of your world right now.
Yeah.
Now, the other goals are a short-term goal and a long-term goal.
Yeah.
A short-term goal is something that you have to get back to doing. What is this lower back pain impacting that you're like, man, this is so difficult to do? Or maybe you can do it, but it's painful and you wish it wasn't painful.
I guess just normal day-to-day stuff, like cleaning up around the house, getting dressed, going to work, not having the pain in the back of my mind.
And I remember you mentioning getting dressed in the morning was pretty difficult for you as well. And then obviously you're sitting at a desk all day. If sitting is painful, that's not very fun for your day, right?
Yeah.
So I think we can obviously help with being able to sit at your desk for long periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
About how quickly does it kick in after sitting? Is it 20 minutes? Is it an hour and a half?
Probably like 5 minutes.
Okay, good.
Probably like 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. So yeah, 5 minutes is pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you don't only sit for 5 minutes, you probably sit for maybe an hour or 2, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so our goal would be to get you to be able to sit for at least an hour to 2 hours without feeling any tension in that lower back.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now what about a long-term goal? Maybe something that you haven't done in the last 10 to 15 years that you'd love to get back to doing. That could be horseback riding, that could be hiking, that could be going on a vacation. What would it be?
Feeling emotionally stable.
Okay, so balancing your emotions.
Yeah, so hormonal, like going into the rest and digest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do feel like my body's in a chronic state of
Fight or
not
flight.
that one. Yeah.
Okay, we will talk a lot about balancing your hormones and getting your body to calm down,
Yeah.
so your body feels more level and regulated. Okay, all right. The last thing I want to go into are different traumas that you've experienced. So,
Got it.
any major car accidents, any work-related issues, sports-related issues?
Car accident in 2017.
Okay,
It was pretty rough.
rear-ended, were you T-boned, hit from the front?
Hit on the driver's side front of my car, so
Okay.
kind of like a T-bone, but it was more angled because she was on the opposite side of the road facing the same direction I was traveling and
Okay.
turned into me.
Yep.
That gave me whiplash that I didn't know I had for over a year.
So you didn't get any treatment or anything
No.
afterwards? Yeah, that's going to lead to a lot of problems inside of your neck. That can cause a reversal of the curve, that can tense a lot of those muscles. That also can affect part of the nerves going into that right shoulder. Was that on the right side of your neck that you felt a lot of stuff, or the left side?
I was actually the left side.
Left side.
Yeah.
So this right side could be compensating from having to work a little bit harder for that
Yeah.
left side too.
I also think like this muscle on my left side of my neck doesn't flex like the right side of my neck does.
So you've noticed a little bit of weakness in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like it just shut off after the accident.
Yeah, that could be impacting a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
Any other major traumas or something that you've noticed? So it could be a work-related slip or a fall, could be something going on with a sports-related accident, tearing an ACL.
Nothing that's like landed me in the hospital.
Okay.
I've had like major surgeries, abdominal surgeries. I fell down some deck stairs and had plantar fasciitis for like 2+ years, and it's like a chronic problem now.
Sure.
And it's in my Achilles more now than it is in the plantar fascia, but that's something that I deal with on a day-to-day basis.
So anything going on in the knees or ankles that you're dealing with?
I wouldn't say ankles, but the pain in my Achilles is daily.
The feet?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's everything that we have so far. You ready to get started with your exam?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right.